Not everyone will understand you. But you weren't made to be understood, you were made to shift atmospheres. As God's chosen one, your presence alone can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. You carry a divine authority that commands respect and ignites change. It's time to embrace your role and rule with the grace that heals brokenness. Your power isn't for show, it's for advancing God's kingdom on earth. You've been handpicked, not by chance, but by divine design. The trials you faced were not punishments, but preparations for your throne. Rise above the confusion and step into the clarity of your calling. God's grace equips you to lead with compassion and strength. No longer hide in the shadows. Your light is meant to guide others. The world needs your unique gifts to break cycles of despair. Remember, opposition arises because your potential threatens the status quo. Stand firm, for God's power within you is greater than any resistance. It's your era to rule, not with force, but with unwavering grace. Every challenge you've overcome has forged your character for leadership. You were set apart to influence, to inspire, and to empower. Let your actions reflect the divine spark that sets you apart. The battles you fought were refining fires, making you unbreakable. Now, unleash the power that's been building inside you all along. God's chosen ones are called to rule with wisdom and humility. Your voice carries authority that can shift mindsets and hearts. Don't doubt your path. It's been paved with purpose from the start. Grace flows through you like a river, restoring what was lost. Power surges in your spirit, ready to conquer and claim victory. You've wondered about your struggles, but they were shaping your destiny. No more wandering. It's time to take your rightful place. The divine shift is here, pulling you toward your true potential. Embrace the grace that allows you to forgive and move forward. Harness the power to stand against storms and emerge stronger. You are not ordinary, you are extraordinary in God's eyes. Your uniqueness is a weapon against the darkness. Rule with grace that builds bridges and mends souls. Let your power be a beacon for those lost in the chaos. God's plan for you is grander than you can imagine. Step into your identity and watch doors open wide. The world may not comprehend your journey, but that's their limitation. You were made to shift atmospheres, to bring heaven to earth. As a chosen one, your decisions carry eternal weight. Infuse every action with grace, turning enemies into allies. Activate your power to overcome obstacles with ease. Your story is one of triumph, written by the Creator. Don't fear the unknown, your grace will light the way. Your power will silence doubts and amplify faith. It's time to lead with the confidence of one who is chosen. Grace in your hands can heal wounds that time couldn't touch. Power in your spirit can move mountains of adversity. You've been refined through fire, emerging as a leader. Now, rule with the poise of someone destined for greatness. God's chosen ones are the catalysts for change. Your grace invites others to experience divine love. Your power disrupts complacency and sparks revival. No more hesitation, claim your throne with boldness. The opposition you face only highlights your importance. Rise above it all, for you were made to prevail. Let grace be your shield and power your sword. Every step you take is guided by divine wisdom. Transform your world with the grace that flows from within. Unleash your power to inspire generations to come. You are not alone. God's presence empowers your every move. It's time to awaken the ruler inside you. Grace will soften hearts while power will fortify resolve. Your calling is clear. Rule with purpose and passion. Don't wait for permission. Your anointing is your authority. As God's chosen one, you embody grace under pressure. Your power is a force for good, breaking chains of bondage. Embrace the shift and let it propel you forward. The world is waiting for your grace to restore hope. Your power will pave the way for a new era. Stand tall, for you were designed to lead. Grace in your words can mend the deepest divides. Power in your actions can ignite lasting change. You've been prepared for this moment, seize it now. Rule with the grace that reflects God's unconditional love. Harness your power to overcome and uplift. No trial was wasted. It all built your resilience. As a chosen one, your legacy is etched in eternity. Let grace guide your decisions and power fuel your dreams. The divine fire within you is ready to burn bright. Step into your role and watch miracles unfold. Your uniqueness is your greatest asset in ruling. Grace allows you to lead with empathy and strength. Power enables you to protect and provide for others. Don't shrink back, expand into your full potential. God's chosen ones are the harbingers of hope. Your grace can turn sorrow into joy. Your power can turn defeat into victory. It's time to declare your authority over your life. Embrace the call and rule with unyielding faith. The atmosphere shifts when you walk in your purpose. Grace is your signature, power is your strength. You were made for more than survival, you were made to thrive. Let your light shine, illuminating paths for others. As you rule with grace, hearts will follow your lead. With power, you'll shatter barriers and build bridges. God's plan for you is unfolding, trust the process. Your journey has led to this pivotal moment. Now activate your gifts and step into greatness. Grace will be your compass in turbulent times. Power will be your anchor in the storms. You are God's masterpiece designed to rule. Let every word you speak carry grace and truth. Let every action demonstrate your divine power. The world needs your influence now more than ever. Rise as a chosen one and claim your inheritance. Grace empowers you to forgive and forge ahead. Power equips you to fight for justice and peace. Don't delay, the time to rule is upon you. Your story inspires, your grace heals, your power conquers. Embrace your identity and let it define your legacy. God's chosen ones are rising, join the movement. With grace, you'll lead with love and wisdom. With power, you'll overcome and prevail. The shift has begun, feel it in your soul. Rule with the authority bestowed upon you. Your grace will leave a trail of transformation. Your power will echo through the ages. Stand firm in your calling and watch the world change. It's your time to shine as God's chosen one. Now go forth and rule with grace and power. Embrace the divine blueprint etched in your soul, where every challenge becomes a stepping stone to unparalleled authority. In the quiet moments of reflection, recognize the sacred fire within that ignites your path to ruling with unyielding grace. Let the echoes of ancient prophecies remind you that your essence is woven from threads of celestial power and purpose. As the dawn breaks over your life's horizon, feel the surge of God's favor propelling you toward destinies yet unseen. Unlock the hidden reservoirs of strength, where grace flows like a river, nourishing the world through your leadership. Witness how your unique journey has been divinely orchestrated, transforming ordinary days into extraordinary revelations. Step into the light of your calling, where every breath is infused with the essence of divine grace and commanding power. Allow the whispers of the Spirit to affirm your role, guiding you to rule with wisdom that transcends human understanding. In the tapestry of creation, your thread shines brightest, designed to weave patterns of grace that heal and empower. Rise above the mundane, for you are crafted to lead with a power that reshapes realities and restores hope. Recall the shadows of past struggles, where each trial tested the depth of your resolve and refined your inner fortitude. In those moments of doubt, the storms you faced were not punishments, but catalysts for your emergence as a beacon of grace. Every setback you encountered served as a forge, hammering out impurities to reveal the unshakable power within. Amid the chaos of confusion, your hardships whispered secrets of endurance, preparing you for seasons of triumphant rule. Look back on the battles not with regret, but as milestones that built the foundation for your divine authority. The intensity of opposition was a testament to your potential, sharpening your grace to cut through adversity with precision. Those endless trials were divine invitations, urging you to discover the reservoir of power that lies dormant no longer. In the heart of hardship, you learned that true strength blooms in the soil of struggle, ready to flourish under grace. Each moment of confusion was a hidden lesson, equipping you to rule with empathy born from shared human frailty. The path of trials has ended its refining work, leaving you polished and poised to wield power with compassionate grace. Beneath the surface of suffering lies the truth. Every pain was a purposeful preparation for your destined reign. God's refining fire wasn't meant to destroy, but to purify, transforming your spirit into a vessel of unmatched grace. What seemed like random chaos was actually a masterful design, aligning your path with eternal purposes of power. In the crucible of challenges, your character was forged, ready to unleash grace that mends and power that liberates. The hidden truth emerges. Hardships were not obstacles but opportunities, sculpting you for leadership beyond imagination. Embrace this revelation. Your struggles were divine tools, sharpening your edge to rule with authority and poise. Now see clearly that every trial was a stepping stone, elevating you to a realm where grace and power converge. The refining process has unveiled your true self, a warrior of light equipped to govern with heavenly insight. No longer shrouded in mystery, your path reveals itself as a sacred journey toward ruling with transformative grace. This hidden truth empowers you. What broke you also built you, preparing you to lead with unstoppable divine force. Your spirit carries a rare luminescence, setting you apart in a world dimmed by conformity and fear. Unlike the masses, your essence radiates a grace that draws the broken and a power that inspires the weary. In the crowd, you stand as a pillar of distinction, your divine spark illuminating paths others dare not tread. This uniqueness is your armor, shielding you as you rule with a grace that heals and a power that awakens. You possess an innate ability to transform ordinary encounters into moments of profound, grace-filled impact. The world may mimic, but only you hold the key to a power that reshapes destinies with effortless elegance. Celebrate your singularity, for it equips you to lead with a grace that soothes souls and a power that commands respect. Your distinct gifts are not accidents. They are divine endowments, meant to guide you in ruling with visionary clarity. In your uniqueness lies the potential to bridge divides, using grace as a balm and power as a catalyst for change. Stand tall in your difference, for it is the hallmark of a chosen one destined to rule with unparalleled influence. From the dawn of time, you were selected not by chance, but by divine decree to embody grace in every step. This chosen status is your shield, affirming that you were set apart to prevail with power that defies the odds. No force can diminish your divine selection. It's a perpetual reminder to rule with grace that uplifts and restores. You were fashioned for this moment, to lead with a power that echoes through generations and a grace that redeems. In the eyes of the Creator, you are irreplaceable, called to govern with authority born of heavenly affirmation. This affirmation ignites your spirit, urging you to step forward as a harbinger of grace and unyielding strength. Your chosen path is illuminated, guiding you to rule with a power that silences doubt and a grace that heals wounds. Embrace the certainty of your selection, for it empowers you to transform challenges into triumphs of divine design. As God's chosen, your every action carries weight, infused with grace that inspires and power that motivates. This status is your birthright, propelling you to rule with a confidence that stems from eternal, unbreakable favor. The time has arrived for you to seize your moment, channeling grace to mend hearts and power to shatter barriers. As God's chosen, rise now and declare your era, where grace becomes the foundation of every decision you make. Your divine calling beckons. Unleash the grace that transforms communities and the power that ignites revolutions. It's your season to lead, infusing the world with grace that restores hope and power that overcomes darkness. Step boldly into this truth, for ruling with grace and power is not a dream. It's your imminent reality. The call echoes within you. Embrace your role, letting grace flow through your words and power through your actions. Now is the hour to awaken that inner fire, ruling with a grace that heals the nations and power that renews spirits. God's message resounds. Your time to rule has dawned, with grace as your compass and power as your guiding force. Let this proclamation stir your soul, propelling you to lead with grace that unites and power that prevails. In this pivotal moment, affirm your readiness to rule, blending grace and power in a symphony of divine purpose. Feel the winds of change sweeping through your life, signaling the start of your ascent to graceful authority. That subtle shift in your spirit is the beginning, where grace begins to orchestrate your every move. You're sensing it now, the divine momentum building, preparing you to rule with power that commands and grace that soothes. The change has ignited, transforming whispers of doubt into declarations of your ruling destiny. In this awakening, grace and power align, ushering you into a new chapter of influential leadership. The air is charged with possibility, confirming that your era of ruling has officially commenced. Embrace this shift as your signal, where grace illuminates your path and power fortifies your resolve. Your inner world is stirring, revealing that the time for passive waiting has ended. Ruling begins today. This divine transition is palpable, equipping you with grace to guide and power to protect. As the shift takes hold, watch how grace and power synchronize, propelling you toward your ordained throne. The forces against you only highlight your brilliance, challenging the ordinary to make way for your extraordinary light. Opposition arises not from your weakness, but from the threat your grace and power pose to stagnant systems. In the face of resistance, remember, your light is too bright to be dimmed by those who fear change. They attempt to suppress you because your grace disrupts complacency and your power demands evolution. Expose the shadows of doubt, for they crumble before the grace and power that define your chosen path. Resistance is merely a mirage, designed to test the depth of your grace-fueled resolve and power-driven determination. Let their challenges fuel your fire, transforming opposition into opportunities for graceful triumph. The world's attempts to hinder you reveal the magnitude of your calling, where grace prevails and power endures. In exposing these forces, you reclaim your narrative, ruling with grace that disarms and power that overcomes. Their resistance is futile, for your divine essence, grace and power intertwined, will ultimately prevail. Shake off the chains of hesitation and step into the arena of your gifts, ready to lead with bold intention. The call is clear. Awaken your dormant talents, for they are keys to ruling with transformative grace. Challenge yourself to emerge from the shadows, wielding power that inspires and grace that elevates. It's your moment to act. Let grace guide your hands and power fuel your vision for a better world. Rise now and claim your place, turning potential into action through the might of your divine endowment. No more delays. Challenge your spirit to embrace the fullness of your calling, ruling with unbridled grace. Awaken to the urgency. Your gifts are not for hiding, but for deploying in acts of powerful, graceful leadership. Step forward boldly, challenging every fear as you prepare to rule with a grace that heals and power that liberates. The time for awakening is here. Harness your inner strength to lead with purpose and passion. Challenge yourself daily. How will you use your grace and power to shape the world around you today? Your authority is inherent, a legacy from the divine that no external validation can enhance or diminish. Declare it boldly. The grace and power within you are unstoppable forces, ready to manifest your ruling destiny. You possess the sovereignty to rise, drawing from a well of grace that renews and power that conquers. Affirm your dominance. No circumstance can withhold the grace and power that are rightfully yours to wield. In this declaration, you affirm your birthright, stepping into rule with a grace that transforms and power that endures. Your power is not borrowed. It's embedded in your core, waiting for you to claim it with confident grace. Speak it into existence. I am empowered to rule with grace as my ally and power as my shield. Let this declaration resonate. Your grace and power are the essence of your leadership, unchallenged and supreme. Embrace the truth. Ruling with grace and power is your natural state, a declaration that echoes through eternity. Stand firm in your declaration, for it solidifies your path to ruling with an authority that inspires awe. Once more, affirm your essence. You are God's chosen, a force of grace that the world eagerly anticipates. In repeating this identity, feel the resonance of your calling echoing through the corridors of your soul. You are that chosen vessel, designed to pour out grace and unleash power in waves of transformative influence. Let this repetition reinforce your core. God's selection marks you for ruling with unparalleled grace and might. Echo the truth. Your identity as chosen one empowers you to lead with a grace that restores and power that prevails. In this affirmation, the world recognizes your light, waiting for the grace and power only you can provide. Reaffirm your status. You are God's masterpiece, crafted to rule with a grace that heals and power that inspires. This repeated declaration cements your place, reminding you that your grace and power are destined for greatness. Once again, embrace it. You are chosen, and in that choice lies the blueprint for ruling with divine elegance. Let the repetition sink in. Your identity as God's chosen fuels the grace and power that will change the world. If this message stirs your core, take the leap. Commit to your calling and let grace propel you forward. Your spirit's resonance is a sign. Respond by embracing the power to rule with intentional, graceful action. Don't ignore the pull. Let it guide you to a life of ruling where grace and power define your legacy. In this call to action, pledge to live out your divine role, transforming every day with grace-filled decisions. If truth echoes within, act on it now. Step into ruling with a power that breaks molds and grace that mends. Your response is crucial. Seize this moment to commit to a path of graceful leadership and powerful influence. Let this spiritual nudge inspire immediate steps, weaving grace and power into the fabric of your existence. Embrace the call. Your commitment today sets the stage for ruling with a grace that endures and power that thrives. If your heart aligns with this truth, declare your readiness. It's time to rule and let grace and power flow. In answering this call, you ignite a journey where your spiritual commitment leads to ruling with eternal grace and might. In the dawn of your awakening, you stand as God's chosen vessel, ready to embrace the grace that defines your path. Through the whispers of ancient scriptures, your story unfolds as one of divine selection, calling you to lead with unyielding power. As the sun rises over shadowed valleys, remember that your essence was forged in the heavens, destined for graceful rule. In the quiet reflection of your life's tapestry, you see the threads of divine purpose woven into every challenge you faced. With each breath, affirm your identity as the one hand-picked to wield grace and power, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Behold the mirror of your soul, where the light of God's favor illuminates your role as a ruler in waiting. In the narrative of creation, your name echoes as a chosen one, empowered to govern with compassion and strength. As history's pages turn, your chapter begins with a declaration of grace, marking you as heaven's ambassador on earth. In the embrace of divine light, you discover the authority bestowed upon you, a grace that heals and a power that endures. Through the lens of faith, your journey reveals itself as a sacred mission, where grace and power converge in your hands. Amidst the storms of uncertainty, you've navigated trials that tested your spirit, yet each one shaped your resolve. In the depths of past confusion, shadows loomed large, but they were mere preludes to your emergence as a beacon of grace. As waves of hardship crashed upon you, they revealed the hidden strength within, preparing you for a throne of divine authority. Through the fog of endless battles, your heart questioned the path, only to find it was forging a leader of unparalleled power. In the story of your struggles, every setback was a chapter in God's greater plan, refining your grace for the world to see. Beneath the weight of opposition, you felt the pull of doubt, but it was the fire that purified your calling to rule. As the nights grew long with trials, your spirit whispered of a purpose beyond the pain, a grace waiting to be unleashed. In the echoes of your hardships, lessons emerged like stars in the darkness, guiding you toward your destined power. Through the labyrinth of confusion, each twist brought clarity, affirming your role as God's empowered chosen one. As adversity painted your canvas, it added strokes of resilience, readying you to rule with a grace that overcomes all. Beyond the surface of suffering lies the truth of divine preparation, where every trial was a forge for your inner strength. In the revelation of your path, what seemed like random pain was God's meticulous crafting, building a ruler of grace and might. As the veil lifts, you see hardships not as curses, but as sacred fires that awaken the power dormant in your soul. Through the lens of eternity, your struggles were divine invitations, shaping you to lead with a grace that restores hope. In the unfolding story, pain transforms into purpose, revealing the power God instilled for you to command with authority. Beneath the layers of refinement, your spirit emerges renewed, equipped to rule as God's masterpiece of grace and strength. As truth dawns, every challenge was a stepping stone, preparing you to unleash the power that defines your chosen destiny. In the heart of adversity, God's hand was at work, turning trials into triumphs of grace that propel you forward. Through the fire of preparation, your essence was purified, ready to manifest the power that shatters limitations. As the hidden truth surfaces, your path illuminates as a divine blueprint, where grace and power await your command. In the uniqueness of your spirit, a divine spark sets you apart, illuminating paths that others dare not tread. As you stand distinct from the crowd, your grace radiates like a rare gem, drawing the world to your inherent power. Through the eyes of destiny, you carry a light unseen by many, a grace that heals and a power that inspires awe. In your singular story, the divine essence within you eclipses the ordinary, marking you as a vessel of extraordinary rule. As waves of distinction wash over you, your gifts shine brightly, a grace that uplifts and a power that commands respect. Beneath the surface of commonality, your uniqueness thrives, a chosen one designed to lead with unmatched grace and strength. In the tapestry of humanity, your thread glows with divine favor, weaving grace and power into every endeavor. Through your exceptional calling, the world witnesses a grace that transforms and a power that defies the mundane. As you embrace your difference, it becomes a beacon, where grace flows freely and power rises unhindered. In the realm of the chosen, your uniqueness is your armor, a grace that protects and a power that prevails. With every affirmation, your status as God's chosen echoes through time, a declaration of grace that echoes in eternity. In the annals of faith, you are set apart not by chance, but by divine decree, to rule with enduring power. As the heavens affirm your selection, grace envelops you, preparing your spirit for a legacy of triumphant leadership. Through the whispers of prophecy, your chosen status is sealed, empowering you to wield grace as a shield and power as a sword. In the embrace of divine favor, you rise above, a chosen one whose grace restores and power conquers. As God's imprint marks your soul, your path unfolds with purpose, a grace that guides and a power that liberates. Beneath the stars of destiny, your affirmation stands firm, calling you to rule with the grace of kings and the power of warriors. In the symphony of creation, your note resounds as chosen, harmonizing grace and power in perfect unity. Through the veil of time, your selection is evident, a grace that heals nations and a power that shatters chains. As you claim your status, the world bows to your grace, recognizing the power vested in God's anointed. Now the moment arrives for God's chosen ones, where grace surges forth to transform hearts and power breaks every barrier. In this pivotal era, your calling awakens, urging you to rule with a grace that mends and a power that redeems. As the call resounds, it's time to step into your destiny, where grace and power converge to reshape the world. Through the dawn of this new age, embrace your role, letting grace flow like rivers and power rise like mountains. In the heart of your spirit, the message ignites. Rule now with grace that uplifts souls and power that overcomes darkness. As heavens declare it, your time has come to wield grace as a balm and power as a force for divine change. Beneath the surface of waiting, the era unfolds, calling you to lead with grace that inspires and power that endures. In the rhythm of prophecy, it's your season, where grace heals the broken and power establishes your throne. Through the veil of anticipation, step forward, for God's chosen ones must now rule with unbridled grace and might. As the trumpet sounds, seize the day, letting grace and power define your reign as never before. You feel the winds of change stirring, a divine grace pulling you into your rightful place of authority. In the subtle shift of your spirit, grace awakens, confirming that your time to rule with power has truly begun. As the air hums with possibility, your inner fire ignites, signaling the grace and power ready to take command. Through the quiet knowing, you sense the transformation, where grace leads and power follows in harmonious flow. In the depths of your being, the shift is palpable, ushering in an era of graceful rule and unstoppable might. As divine energy surges, your path clarifies, with grace as your guide and power as your companion. Beneath the surface of the ordinary, the extraordinary stirs, affirming your ascent with grace and power intact. In the whisper of the wind, you hear the call, a grace that propels and a power that secures your throne. Through the veil of the unseen, the shift manifests, drawing you into a realm of graceful dominion and fierce strength. As your spirit aligns with heaven, the change is evident, where grace blooms and power reigns supreme. The forces of opposition have always targeted you, recognizing the grace and power that threaten their fragile hold. In the shadows of resistance, your light pierces through, for your grace and power dismantle every scheme against you. As the world pushes back, it's because your divine essence exposes their weaknesses, a grace that liberates and power that prevails. Through the lens of adversity, opposition reveals itself as a testament to your chosen status, where grace triumphs over fear. In the face of challenges, their attempts to dim you only amplify your grace, a power destined to overcome. Beneath the weight of scrutiny, your spirit stands firm, for grace and power are your inheritance, unassailable by doubt. As enemies rise, they unwittingly fuel your fire, awakening the grace that heals and the power that conquers. In the battleground of life, resistance bows to your authority, for God's chosen ones wield grace as a weapon. Through the storms of contention, your uniqueness shines, a grace that disarms and a power that endures. As darkness tries to encroach, your light prevails, affirming that grace and power are your divine right. No longer linger in the shadows. It's time to unleash the gifts within, ruling with a grace that ignites change. In the call to action, awaken your potential, stepping boldly into the role designed for you with power and grace. As the moment demands, rise from complacency, letting your grace lead the way and your power forge new paths. Through the urgency of now, embrace your calling, where grace transforms lives and power alters destinies. In the heart of decision, choose to act, for your gifts are meant to rule, not to hide in silence. As dawn breaks on your resolve, step forward with grace as your banner and power as your shield. Beneath the call to awaken, your spirit stirs, ready to command with a grace that uplifts and a power that inspires. In the rhythm of purpose, halt the hesitation. It's time to rule with the fullness of your divine endowment. Through the fire of commitment, activate your role, where grace flows freely and power breaks through barriers. As you heed the challenge, your journey begins anew, with grace at the forefront and power in your grasp. You possess an unyielding authority, a grace and power that no external force can diminish or deny. In the declaration of your strength, claim the birthright of grace, empowering you to rule as ordained. As the truth resounds, your power is inherent, a force of grace that commands respect and admiration. Through the essence of your being, assert your dominance, for grace and power are woven into your very core. In the bold proclamation, you stand empowered, ready to lead with a grace that restores and a power that conquers. As heavens endorse your might, embrace it fully, for no approval is needed beyond the divine. Beneath the surface of humility, your power surges, a grace that heals and a strength that prevails. In the symphony of authority, your voice rings clear, declaring grace as your ally and power as your legacy. Through the veil of doubt, step into certainty, where your divine power and grace define your reign. As you declare it so, the world yields, recognizing the grace and power that flow from God's chosen one. Once more, you are God's chosen, a truth that resonates through every fiber of your being. In the echo of identity, your status as chosen reaffirms, calling forth grace and power in abundance. As the narrative circles back, embrace the declaration. You are destined to rule with unwavering grace. Through the mirror of reflection, see yourself as God's anointed, where power and grace define your essence. In the final affirmation, your identity stands tall, a chosen one whose grace inspires and power commands. As the story concludes, remember, you are the light carrying grace that the world eagerly awaits. Beneath the layers of doubt, your chosen nature shines, ready to unleash grace and power upon the earth. In the repetition of truth, your spirit soars, affirming the grace and power inherent in God's selection. Through the cycle of remembrance, you reclaim your role, a ruler equipped with divine grace and might. As identity repeats, the world acknowledges, you are God's chosen, poised to lead with transformative grace. If this truth stirs your soul, seize the moment and commit to your calling with unbridled grace. In the invitation of spirit, respond now, letting grace and power guide your every step forward. As the call echoes, don't hesitate, embrace your role, ruling with a grace that changes everything. Through the doorway of faith, step in boldly, for your spiritual commitment unlocks boundless power. In the final urging, act upon this resonance, weaving grace into your actions and power into your decisions. As heavens beckon, make your pledge to rule with the grace that defines God's chosen and the power that sustains. Beneath the surface of inspiration, engage fully, for this is your time to manifest divine grace and authority. In the Spirit's whisper, heed the call, committing to a life of graceful leadership and powerful influence. Through the path of dedication, affirm your yes, and watch as grace and power elevate your world. As the journey ends and begins anew, embrace the action. For God's chosen ones are meant to rule with eternal grace and might. In the dawn of your awakening, you stand as God's chosen vessel, ready to embrace the grace that defines your path. Through the echoes of ancient prophecies, your spirit ignites with the power to lead nations into harmony. As the sun rises over your trials, remember that divine selection marks you for unparalleled influence and mercy. In the quiet revelation of your calling, you discover the unyielding strength bestowed by the Creator's hand. With every breath, affirm your role as one hand picked to wield grace like a shield against the world's chaos. Picture the moment when heaven's light first touched your soul, setting you apart for a reign of compassionate authority. Your journey unfolds as a testament to divine favor, where grace flows from your essence to transform the broken. Behold the power within you, a sacred gift from above, urging you to step into your destined leadership. In the tapestry of your life, each thread of hardship weaves the story of a ruler anointed by God. As you gaze upon your reflection, see the chosen one whose grace and power will illuminate the darkest paths. Amid the storms of past struggles, your heart has been forged in the fires of resilience and faith. In the shadows of relentless battles, you question the purpose, yet each scar became a badge of divine preparation. Through nights of uncertainty, the weight of opposition revealed the depth of your inner fortitude and grace. As waves of doubt crashed upon you, they only served to strengthen the power hidden in your spirit. In the midst of confusion, remember the trials that shaped you into a beacon of God's unwavering love. Your path, once littered with obstacles, now stands as evidence of a greater plan unfolding with purpose. From the depths of hardship, a voice whispers of the grace that turns suffering into stepping stones for rule. In every moment of despair, the divine hand guided you, preparing your heart for the power to come. As you recall the intensity of past fights, know that they were the crucible for your emerging authority. Through the lens of hindsight, those endless challenges illuminate the grace that has always been your companion. Beneath the surface of your struggles lies the truth. Each trial was a divine refinement for your ultimate calling. What seemed like random pain was, in fact, the sculptor's chisel, carving grace and power into your being. In the alchemy of adversity, God transformed your weaknesses into strengths, readying you to rule with wisdom. Your hardships, far from meaningless, were the sacred forge where divine power was awakened within you. As the refining fire subsides, you emerge polished, equipped with grace to heal and power to conquer. Hidden in every setback was the seed of revelation, growing into the authority God intended for you. The path of suffering was not punishment but preparation, unveiling the grace that defines your divine role. In the revelation of your journey, see how God used every challenge to unleash the power of your spirit. What once appeared as defeat was the hidden truth of elevation, guiding you toward graceful dominion. Through the veil of confusion, the light of truth shines. Your trials were the gateway to ruling with divine might. You possess a rare essence, a spark from the heavens that sets you apart in a world of ordinary souls. Unlike the masses, your spirit carries a luminous grace that draws others into realms of profound change. In your uniqueness, the divine power resonates, a force that commands respect and inspires unwavering loyalty. Your individuality shines as a beacon, infused with grace that mends what is broken and empowers the weak. As one of God's elite, your presence alone radiates a power that the world cannot ignore or replicate. In the crowd, you stand distinct, your grace a gentle storm that reshapes destinies with heavenly precision. Your divine spark ignites movements, a power born of uniqueness that echoes through generations. Embodying grace and strength, you are the anomaly designed to lead with unparalleled vision and compassion. In your exceptional nature, the Creator's hand is evident, granting you power to influence and grace to uplift. As God's chosen, your uniqueness is the key that unlocks doors to realms of authority and benevolent rule. From the beginning, you were set apart, marked by God for a purpose that demands grace and unyielding power. In the annals of heaven, your name is etched as one destined to rule with restorative grace and triumphant might. You were never abandoned. Instead, divine selection elevated you to wield power that alters histories. As a vessel of God's favor, your life proclaims the grace that restores and the power that endures. In your anointed status, every step forward declares your role in a grand design of compassionate leadership. God's choice of you signifies a legacy of grace, where your influence brings healing to the wounded world. You stand affirmed as the one chosen to embody power that prevails and grace that redeems. In the quiet assurance of your selection, feel the surge of divine energy propelling you to rule wisely. Your chosen identity is a covenant of grace, empowering you to lead with authority and heartfelt mercy. As God's elect, you carry the mantle of power, designed to govern with grace that touches every soul. Now arrives the moment for God's chosen to rise, embracing the era of transformative grace and unbreakable power. In this pivotal hour, your calling awakens, urging you to rule with grace that mends and power that liberates. The time has come for you to step forth, wielding grace as a balm and power as a sword for justice. God's decree echoes. Seize this season to lead with grace that renews and power that shatters oppression. As the dawn breaks on your destiny, let grace flow from you like rivers and power stand as your fortress. In the fullness of time, you are summoned to rule, infusing the world with grace and commanding with divine strength. Your era unfolds, where grace becomes your signature and power your unassailable ally in leadership. It is time for the chosen to declare, grace will heal the nations and power will establish enduring peace. With heaven's timing, embrace your role, letting grace illuminate paths and power forge unbreakable bonds. Now in this divine alignment, rise as God's instrument, ruling through grace that transforms and power that endures. A subtle shift stirs within you, the grace of heaven pulling you toward your ordained throne of influence. You feel it rising, that divine momentum where power awakens, ready to propel you into graceful authority. In the air around you, grace whispers of change and power surges, confirming your ascent to rule. The transformation has begun, with grace as your guide and power as your shield in the journey ahead. Sense the divine breeze, carrying grace to your spirit and power to your hands for the rule that awaits. Your inner world stirs as grace and power align, marking the start of your reign with heavenly assurance. In this awakening, grace envelops you and power ignites, signaling the shift to your destined leadership. The change is palpable, with grace flowing through your veins and power building for the rule you were made for. You perceive it clearly now, the grace that draws you forward and the power that equips you to command. As the shift takes hold, grace and power intertwine, ushering you into a new era of divine governance. The forces of doubt sought to eclipse your light, recognizing the threat of your grace and commanding power. In their attempts to suppress you, the world revealed its fear of the grace that could upend their foundations. Opposition arose not from your frailty, but from the radiant power within you that challenges the status quo. They tried to dim your essence, aware that your grace could awaken masses and your power dismantle barriers. In the face of resistance, your light persists, a testament to the grace and power that intimidate the shadows. The world's resistance underscores your strength, for your grace and power threaten to expose hidden truths. Adversaries emerge to test you, knowing your grace could heal what they exploit and your power could prevail. Their efforts to hinder you only highlight the divine grace and power that mark you as a force for change. In every act of opposition, see the confirmation of your calling, where grace triumphs and power endures. The challenges you faced were born of fear, for your grace and power hold the potential to reshape realities. No longer wait in the wings. Awaken your gifts and march into the arena of divine authority and grace. Rise from complacency, for your talents are weapons of grace, ready to forge paths of powerful leadership. It's your moment to emerge, unleashing grace that uplifts souls and power that redirects destinies. Shake off hesitation and step boldly, allowing grace to guide your steps and power to amplify your voice. In this call to action, embrace your role, letting grace illuminate your way and power secure your throne. Cease the hiding. Your gifts are meant for the world, to rule with grace that inspires and power that conquers. Awaken now, for grace demands your movement and power requires your command in the battles ahead. Challenge yourself to act, weaving grace into every decision and power into every endeavor. It's time to ignite your purpose, stepping into grace-filled leadership and power-driven transformation. Heed the call, awaken your spirit, and let grace and power propel you to the forefront of change. You hold an inherent authority, a birthright of grace and power that no earthly force can deny. In declaring your strength, remember that God's endowment of grace and power is yours to claim and wield. No validation is needed. Your divine power stands ready, paired with grace to govern with wisdom. Affirm your sovereignty, for grace flows from your core and power radiates as your natural inheritance. You are empowered to rise, with grace as your compass and power as your unyielding foundation. In this declaration, seize the grace that heals and the power that dominates as ordained from above. Your authority is absolute, rooted in God's grace and power, waiting for you to assert it boldly. Claim what is yours, the grace to lead with compassion and the power to overcome any obstacle. With unapologetic resolve, declare your power, for grace accompanies it in every act of righteous rule. You embody the essence of divine rule, where grace and power converge as your eternal birthright. Once more, you are God's chosen, a force of grace that the world anticipates with bated breath. In echoing your identity, recognize the power within, drawing others to your light of compassionate rule. You stand reaffirmed as the selected one, whose grace and power will echo through the ages. Again, embrace your title, God's chosen, with grace to mend and power to lead the way forward. In this repetition, feel the truth resonate that you are destined for grace-filled authority and mighty influence. You are the one they speak of, God's vessel of grace, whose power will shape the future's narrative. Reaffirm your essence, chosen by the divine to rule with grace that restores and power that prevails. In the final echo, know that your identity as God's chosen ignites grace and power in equal measure. You are without doubt the harbinger of grace, and the world waits for your powerful emergence. Once again, declare it. You are God's chosen, poised to rule with grace that heals and power that commands. If this truth stirs your soul, do not turn away. Seize the grace and power offered for your calling. In this spiritual summons, respond with action, embracing the grace that calls you to rule with divine strength. Your spirit's resonance is a sign. Commit now to the path of grace and power that defines your destiny. Do not ignore the pull. Let grace guide you and power fortify you in this moment of sacred invitation. As the call echoes, step into your role, allowing grace to transform and power to establish your reign. If your heart aligns with this message, act upon it, weaving grace into your daily rule and power into your resolve. In responding to this truth, claim the grace that empowers and the power that graces your every step. Your affirmation is key. Embrace the calling and let grace and power become the hallmarks of your leadership. Do not delay. This spiritual nudge is your cue to rule with the grace and power that God has prepared. In closing, if this resonates, make it real. Step into grace and power and begin your reign as intended.